This week's Welcome to Florida headlines. We're going to kick it off with Floridaman pleasured himself in a hotel room window while watching other guests pass by.
Naturally.
Seaside village of Dennisport in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, okay. This is a Floridaman headline because the man was from Florida, but apparently he was in Cape Cod. Good. I'm like, oh, this is not adding up.
The Florida to them.
Yeah. Route 28, which runs south from the town of Eastham to the city of, I don't know any of this shit, but they saw a naked man standing up against the window of his room. The exposed man was looking at people passing by his room in the popular tourist destination as he pleasured himself, the guest claimed. It's not clear how many individuals complained about seeing the man or what they witnessed. Well, I think it is clear what they witnessed.
Yeah, they witnessed him pleasuring himself. It's kind of right up front.
Yeah, you don't need to get much more specific than that.
So apparently I just have a story for everything today, but I went to this wedding 2 years ago, downtown Denver, on top of a building. And this girl, she's like real uppity, like invited everyone and their mother. So we weren't even that close, but I was there. And there's like 250 people on top of this rooftop. And all of a sudden we see people looking and pulling out their phones. I'm like, what the fuck are they looking at? And I look up, and across from us there's this hotel. And there's this older woman, she's like up against the window completely naked and like posing, like obviously someone's taking pictures of her, like her husband or something, and she's there for like 5 minutes. It's unreal. And we're just like watching this lady completely naked, just like posing and like bending over. And then all of a sudden she looks down and realizes that there's 200 people down there just staring at her. And you saw her just duck behind this curtain real quick. It's the best thing ever.
Damn, that's good. Yeah, I've worked at hotels. I've done a lot of service industry jobs. So I've definitely seen naked people to and fro rooms. I worked at this one called Paradise, which is like a tiki bar, like a beach bar, and it's like one of the roughest spots on Pensacola Beach. It's a great place to watch the sunset because it's right on the water, but then like the later it gets, just the much more rough it gets until it's just nothing there but the creme de la creme of white trash people, and it would always just get out of control. I saw so many crazy things there, but yeah, there was definitely at least one time I can think of a completely butt naked woman like walking around in the parking lot and people calling to complain like there's some crazy drunk lady out there naked, and it's never the people you want to see naked, like that's the big takeaway.
Never is. Like it's like when they do those like nude parades and shit, or Pride. We had Pride and there's so many naked people at Pride always, and it's never like people who are just like, damn, you're a specimen of any sort.
No,
it's always the worst people.
Yeah. like real bodies, like what people actually look like, not on Instagram. It's disgusting.
People like
you know what I mean?
Just walking around all flabby.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. But so the guy, I guess, didn't want to go out without a fight, so the cops had to use a stun gun on him while he was in various states of I guess trying to masturbate on guests. Dude, what would you do? I mean, obviously you can't contact the person. Would you yell at him through the window?
I don't know. I mean, so I just don't know how he was getting off to that. I guess it was the idea of him and people seeing him. Is that the only thing he could think of? Like watching people walk by on the street. I don't know how sexy that is to get you off.
No. I think it's the violation.
I think so too. I think it's knowing people are watching him, knowing it's that whole thing.
How weird. Yeah, I think I would bust out my camera and take a picture.
Oh, 100%.
I think that would be my first instinct. Like, look at this motherfucker right here, and pull out my camera and take a picture, walk it over to the front desk and be like, this is what your hotel is? Is this the kind of establishment you want families coming to?
I did see a homeless man once.
Jerking it?
It was in Seattle, or was it in Hollywood? It was one of the two, but just literally like sprawled out on a sidewalk, laying completely down, just jackhammer fisting it like crazy.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
but I guess Where else are you going to masturbate? You're homeless.
Fucking alley? I don't know, not the street.
Maybe it was performance art if it was Hollywood. You never know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Good point.
No, it was clearly a homeless man, but still.
Florida man throws feces at judge during trial, misses, and is acquitted. This is beautiful. Yeah, you don't normally get away with stuff like that. The guy was handicapped. Like, so we got to start. He's in a wheelchair. Okay. He got convicted for, got charged with burglary. And at the criminal trial, it's like he's a 33-year-old man and he's sitting in his wheelchair next to Miami-Dade Circuit Judge Lisa Walsh when officials say he tried to throw his excrement at her. It did not reach her. There were no jurors present during Friday's incident. So this happened behind closed doors. He threw doo-doo at the judge and missed. And then the jury came in, and I suspect, and this is not to say anything negative, I suspect the jury probably, he earned their sympathy because of his disability, maybe. I don't know.
I could see that.
Either that or the judge was just a total cunt. But it's unclear whether he'll face any charges involving the feces. But he did get away for the burglary charge. However, he still faces another trial in a grand theft auto case. So despite the fact he is the definition of handy-capable. Yeah,
he grand theft auto?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he gets around.
What the hell? He already got to wheels. Why is he still a more?
You remember the footage of this lady? If we would be talking about this story today, I would have used the graphics 100%. But you remember like a year ago, there was that lady that came into a fast food restaurant and they wouldn't let her go to the bathroom because she wouldn't buy anything. I think it was a McDonald's. She's standing in line and she starts reaching back there. No, she leans up against the trash can and starts shitting right there.
I do remember.
And grabbing handfuls of deuce and throwing it at the employees.
So first of all, I think it's kind of stupid. I get the policy, it's to prevent like homeless people, but like if you run in and you're like, you got the bubble guts and there's a line, I need to shit. I don't need to sit here and order a fucking soda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a dumb, I get the policy, it's to prevent like crazy people and homeless people from just using your restrooms all day, but it's kind of a stupid policy in another way.
Yeah, I don't know what you do about that. Like if you're having to pick, if every time you were worried that like if I say no, this person's going to start lobbing shit at me, then people would start to So, all right, guys, that said, this is a call to action. I hope we don't get in trouble for this. But if you ever need to go and you go into an establishment and they turn you down, I'm going to need you to just do your business right there and just throw it at whoever said it. Yes, because if we set this precedent, there will not be a bathroom in the world that is not public.
They'll just have open stalls outside even. They'll just be prepared.
Oh, you didn't hear it from me, folks. All right, last story in the Florida man headlines. This one, I got a kick out of this. There was a Florida man who was arrested for drug possession while trying to catch them all. He was out on the Pokemon Go app. And I don't know exactly where he was at, but this was in Orlando. And they ended up, let's see. A man was arrested for drug possession while catching Pokemon at a Florida park. According to the sheriff's office, a deputy made contact with 29-year-old Jonathan Ortiz, who parked in a closed county park catching Pokemon. Okay, so he's in a closed park. The deputy observed marijuana in plain view and said that a search was conducted and his vehicle had, check this out, 3.5 grams of coke, 5.5 pounds of THC oil, and 1 pound of marijuana.
What the fuck?
Why are you riding like that, dude?
That's a lot to be riding with. Like, that's definitely distribution. That's not personal use.
No. Nah, man. Once you start to hit...
Could you imagine me like out slanging and be like, hold up real quick, I gotta catch this fucking Mewtwo. Right.
Yeah, dude, you're like on the trap, slow rolling through neighborhoods. Like, it's such a bad idea. You don't want to ride with that shit in the first place. But when you're doing something like this, it just seems like it's just the dumbest idea in the world. 3.5 grams of coke, that might be personal consumption. I don't know. I don't know what kind of coke habit this guy has, but there is no way 5.5 pounds of THC is not distribution.
No, there's no fucking way.
That's a crazy amount of money that dude got caught with.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
my math is not good, but it's, I mean, $10,000 that the dude had on him probably.
Probably.
Holy shit.
That's a lot.
And I can't tell, like, I'm looking at the picture right now. It shows like his whole haul. Yeah, what an idiot. So do you play Pokemon Go?
I did when it came out, when I very first moved to Denver, because I had nothing to do. I had no furniture in my house. My wife was still back in New Mexico, so I had Pokemon Go on my phone. So I would just walk around my neighborhood because I had no TV, nothing. So
did you discover some
rough.
shit?
Yeah, well, the thing that was cool about it is, like, I discovered... I mean, yeah, if I'm Pokemon, but who gives a shit about that? I discovered like cool spots to eat and shit.
Yeah, you were on the same page as me. Like, you discover the outside world as a byproduct of playing this game.
Yeah. Like, I found some cool spots and areas that I was like, oh, there's this whole little like mini strip area with bars and shit that's 2 seconds from my house that I had no idea was here.
Yeah, my buddy Holden is actually still plays it, and it's like some games, you know, I can dismiss as dumb, like Candy Crush or something like that. Pokemon Go, it's brought together communities, it gets people out of the house and walking around and shit. So like that's cool.
It's a super cool game. I actually think it's really, really cool and awesome and different. I think it's really cool.
I've played it. I don't know, probably for about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. You know, collectively, I never got super into it. It like you actually got to like get up and get out of the house, and that's not my scene, man.
So this is the dumbest reason why I loved playing it, because you can rename the Pokemon when you catch them, and my goal was to like name them all stupid puns. So I would catch something, and that was more like there was a seal one, and I named it Sealy Dan. It's all like dumb cheesy shit like that, and that was my game. I could care less about them. Like, what fucking stupid name can I have in my phone?
That's good. Yeah, you just now reminded me of something that I forgot to put in the notes. But there was have you heard about the squirrel DEEZ-NUTS?
No.
Hold up, let me pull this up. I meant to put it in the notes. This is not a Floridaman story, but we're not going to not talk about it, because when there's a squirrel named DEEZ-NUTS that's being accused of being on crystal meth, you can't look away from that.
In Alabama?
Yes. Attack squirrel suspects calls into Florence radio station, claims to be reunited with squirrel. So there's this guy who's accused of feeding his squirrel meth, and he wants the public to know the claims aren't true. The man claiming to be Mickey Polk called into the radio station Tuesday night saying the Limestone County Sheriff's Office made up the story that he and the squirrel had been reunited. So the dude has still got a warrant out for possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of paraphernalia. Apparently, people in his neighborhood said that he had a squirrel that was a trained attack squirrel, and that it was so amped up because he gave it crystal meth, and it made him aggressive.
From looking at this guy's picture, he totally looks like he would be the type of person who would own a squirrel, but he also looks like that person who would feed a squirrel meth.
What's funny is, like, if you go through his history, and I don't know, I don't want to create any sort of narrative here. He named the squirrel DEEZ-NUTS. That's the original point. So he named the squirrel DEEZ-NUTS, and he found it as like a tiny little baby. It had been abandoned, and he brought it in, and he like nursed it back to health with a Visine bottle full of milk. He was like feeding it little drops of milk at a time, got it back to where it was like up and running. It seems like he was actually like had a close relationship with this squirrel, but he said let's see.
So I'm watching a video of the actual squirrel. It just, it looks aggressive. It looks like a fucking squirrel. Like squirrels, have you ever seen a squirrel in a cage? They're crazy.
Oh yeah. Real uppity little creatures.
Yeah, it just looks like a squirrel. Like, it's definitely jumping out the cage like it wants to attack someone because it's a squirrel.
And if you want to see a squirrel on meth, that's what you're going to see, because squirrels look like they're on meth anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
there's no way to drug test them.
If you were like, if it was a real docile squirrel, well, no, there's videos of him just petting it. So, I mean, it looks like it's his pet, but then it looks like it's aggressive to other people. Yeah.
It loved him, and that's like the police like released it back into the wild. He said he went to where the police released it, and it was up in the tree, and he called it, and it just ran right down and fucking got back with him, and he's reunited with his squirrel. It's kind of
There's a
sweet.
happy ending to all these stories.
The squirrel isn't a trained attack squirrel. He's an asshole. He's got testicles, and that's all it takes. You don't have to give a squirrel drugs or anything like that, he said. Yeah, I don't know.
That was kind of my point. Yeah, I kind of agree with him, honestly. I'm like, it's a fucking squirrel. They're insane.
I mean, dude, if he was feeding the squirrel meth, that's wrong. I think we can agree. You don't need to feed little animals meth. It seems like a waste of drugs, if you ask me.
Yeah, I just don't think he would do it. I mean, I just don't see the end game. But we've covered so many crazy stories on here. Who knows?
This would not be the most far out thing we've talked about. It's just something about an attack squirrel named DEEZ-NUTS that's high on meth. That should be a Florida man story.